Welcome back. A new study shows your chance of being injured in a drunken driving accident are twice as great today, Super Bowl Sunday, as any other Sunday this time of year. Experts say that danger is always high in Kern County, and the problem is getting worse.
They say one of the biggest dangers is repeat DUI offenders, and now that problem is getting worse too. 17's Eric Richards joins us with an in-depth look at how you can make a difference. Eric?
The district attorney's office says every day about 12 people are taken off Kern County roadways and arrested for driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Officials say they don't see this deadly crisis changing until society starts to view drinking and driving differently and helping out their neighbors.
Make it work, right? No, you don't have faith?
Breakfast at the Smith house is getting back to normal. 35-year-old Alicia Smith, mom to 3 boys,
What juice? Orange juice.
is now able to stand and walk without assistance, 7 months after a DUI crash on Golden State Highway.
It was just a normal drive over to my parents' house, nothing out of the ordinary until I heard my husband yell. And I look up and there's this truck, and it's just coming straight for us.
July 4th, 2014, Smith is trapped in her car suffering from major injuries. Her husband has a broken finger and glass embedded in his chest.
It was the worst pain I've ever felt. It felt like my knee, my hip, and my lower back was pushed into my body and up. Which is essentially what did end up happening.
The most traumatic injury Smith suffered was a hip fracture.
Plates and screws in my hip that will stay there forever until I eventually need a hip replacement.
The man who hit them, 60-year-old Frankie Cawley, was intoxicated and driving on the wrong side of the road. In January, Judge Colette Humphrey sentenced Cawley to the 5 months he'd already served, plus 5 years probation.
If he had taken a bat and hit me, he'd be in jail. If he had taken a bat and hit my hip and my knee and took me out, he'd be in jail. But essentially he did that. His bat was a 110 dually. And it could have killed me. It could have killed my husband. It could have made 3 small children orphans.
You talk about interrupting a life. Her whole family's life has been interrupted with that crash.
Carla Pearson, a victim's advocate with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, helped Smith and her family through the legal process, along with dozens of other families. She's afraid short sentences for first-time offenders like Cawley sets the stage for disaster down the road.
I guess we're giving them a second and third or fourth chance to maybe get the fatal out of it, and then we hold them accountable. It doesn't make any sense to me, though. I'm a firm believer if you hold them accountable on the first and second, tough, that they'll decide, you know, I don't want any part of this, and they'll change their activity. They'll get a cab. They'll make the necessary changes that need to be done.
Pearson's son, 23-year-old Adam Pierce, was killed in 2002 when he got into the car of a repeat drunken driver, Michael Ingram.
He had 13 offenses throughout the system, and out of the 13, 8 of them were alcohol related. And out of those 8, 3 of them were prior DUIs. He killed on the 4th DUI.
Some of these cases we still have open are from 2014.
Supervising Deputy District Attorney Michael Raceburn says his team has 16 DUI homicide cases in progress, 9 of those being repeat offenders. He says because of prison overcrowding, people with multiple DUIs not convicted of killing or injuring someone will be released early.
We're completely handcuffed now. No matter how many DUIs you get, you're only going to go to Lerdo.
Officer Robert Rodriguez with the California Highway Patrol says the highest DUI activity occurs over the weekend when many people hit the bars and then get behind the wheel.
Sometimes we'll arrest these individuals and they'll say, you know, why aren't you going out there and arresting real criminals? Why aren't you arresting bank robbers? Why aren't you arresting drug dealers? When in fact, drunk driving deaths they're huge here in the United States, here in Bakersfield alone.
They're senseless acts that could have been prevented, but are not.
The Bakersfield Police Department says last year there were 11 DUI fatals within city limits. Compare that with 2007, there were 3. In 2014, BPD officers made 951 drug and alcohol arrests. As for the CHP jurisdiction, there were 13 DUI fatals last year, along with 2,119 people arrested on drug and alcohol charges. According to the district attorney's office, more DUI crashes with great bodily injury happened in 2014 than ever before.
Speed, weight, out of control rockets. It's not that hard to figure out what those are going to do to soft human bodies.
Officials say for fatal and injury DUIs in Kern County to go down, everyone must protect each other and not leave a person they know or don't know intoxicated, attempting to drive home.
Protect the streets. If you see someone walking out the door going, hey, if you get in that car, I'm calling 911. And, everyone's going to say, well, they're going to fight you. They're going to, it's going to be my brother. He'll never talk to me again. Whatever. Okay, you want to see your brother's body thrown all over the street?
Until we get that mentality changed and that culture changed with some of the different cultures that live here, then, we're always going to have this problem.
These are people that wake up and they have no idea that they're going to end up in the hospital at the end of the day, or their life's gone. And it's, look, they're driving around. They don't even know who they're going to take.
Oh yeah, the regular size bagels, you got to use the thin ones, huh?
Alicia Smith now takes it one day at a time, still suffering mentally and physically. She says the poor choice of a drunken driver has scarred her life deeply and has dramatically affected special moments with her boys.
It's not the mom that I wanted to be, I ever was. It's awful. It's terrible.
Now, according to Mothers Against Drunk Driving, every 2 minutes a person is injured in a DUI crash in the U.S. They also say about 1/3 of all drivers arrested or convicted of DUI are repeat offenders. Authorities say if you see a drunk driver, call 911 immediately. In the newsroom, Eric Richards, 17 News.